You are listening to N.A.M.E Broadcast Radio, serving top professionals from all over the globe, with our international host, Mr. Steve Barron.
Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for joining the show. I do have a very special guest here today on N.A.M.E Broadcast Radio. But really, before I introduce him, let me just give you a little insight. He's a lifelong Texan, graduated from the University of Texas, attended Southern Methodist University, and even has a student who was licensed as a student trial lawyer. That tells you a little something about him. He's out of the state of Texas. He is the owner and proprietor of the law offices of Thomas H. Keene at PLLC. I want to introduce Thomas. Thomas, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, Steve. I'm doing great. Thanks for the call.
Absolutely. Now, you and I have had the opportunity to talk before. I'm reading your credentials. They speak for themselves. I do want to get into some of that information about what your particular specialty and area of law is. But before I do that, I'd really like to maybe dial the clock back. And I do so really just see where it is in your life and how you decided you wanted to become an attorney and what that's meant to you to this point.
Well, Steve, I was a big fan of the Perry Mason television show, and I loved the fact that Perry Mason helped the little guy every time against incredible odds, and that was in third grade, and that's what I always wanted to do. It started there.
Well, let me tell you something. I never was a fan of the prosecutor or his adversary, so I was very happy to see him really succeed, and I tell you, that says something. Tell me what it is. I know a lot of people out there have misgivings, or probably not rightfully so. What should they look for when they're looking for an attorney? And what is it, Tom, and you and I spoke, what is it that you provide to them really to put them at ease?
First of all, they should be happy with the competence of the lawyer, and that is hard to determine just from an interview, but obviously you can do some research on the internet, look to where they went to school, etc. But beyond that, if we assume competence, then you need to be comfortable with the person, and you need to be comfortable with them either through an interview in person, if possible, or at least over the telephone. They should make you feel like they care about your issue, and they should listen to what you have to say and offer a solution that sounds viable to you.
Okay. So really what it is you become really their eyes and ears and the one who's out there really defending what it is that they're looking to accomplish. Because, I mean, you know, technically if you're not representing them and you're just representing yourself as an attorney, you're really not doing them service. So I think that's terrific. Now, you have extensive experience in litigation, civil issues, commercial and banking. It goes really down the line. Tried numerous jury and non-jury matters for defendants and plaintiffs. But what do you find is the common denominator about what it is that you feel as far as maybe a measure of success based upon why you do this? Because I know you have a passion for this. There's no question about it.
I do, and I think my success is based on finding a solution that works in individual cases, not one size fits all. I need to know what their problem is and what their ultimate solution is and try to get them there.
Okay. Now, I know that you've been employed by really some of the largest and most prestigious law firms in the state of Texas, but you decided to go out on your own, and quite successfully, when you could have just really been very, very comfortable, which tells me there's something about that. What was the reason you chose to do that?
Well, huge law firms become huge because they represent large corporations or very rich people who can afford to pay millions of dollars in fees. Mm-hmm. And that's great. But they also come with certain impositions on that, which means that you can't always take a case that you want to take. You can't represent who you want to represent. They have to pass the screening test. And with me as the only screen at my firm, that's still an issue. But the question is not, can I represent this person? The question is, can I effectively represent this person?
Okay. Well, that's terrific. Again, we're speaking to Thomas H. Keene at PLLC at the law offices of Thomas Keene out of Plano, Texas, licensed in all states of courts here in the state of Texas, the southern, northern, and eastern districts of the United States. Where is it that you see yourself as you're moving forward, maybe the next 2 to 3 years? What are you looking to do?
Well, first of all, I do represent some small companies that I'm hoping will continue their growth and take me along with them and increase notoriety. But beyond that, I want to continue to be known as the people's lawyer, somebody who will stand up for them when it seems like everything else has fallen away.
Well, no question about it. This says something, and when I'm reading this, as a student, you were licensed as a student trial lawyer, and I don't, listen, I speak to top attorneys all throughout the United States, and I very rarely, if ever, have heard that. Tell me a little about that.
Okay, so in the state of Texas, when I was in my third year of law school, you could become a student lawyer. You could actually get a license to go in front of juries and judges. You had to be mentored by a senior lawyer if you did that. The real reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted to make sure that I was well trained, and it may come as a surprise to some of your listeners, but in law school, you're trained to think like a lawyer, but you're not necessarily trained to do the things that lawyers do on a day in and day out basis. And I wanted that training before I even got out there and started representing people.
Terrific. The law offices of Thomas H. Keene, PLLC, that's in Plano, Texas. You can either visit their webpage at www.keenlawfirm.com or direct email tom@keenlawfirm.com, or simply really contact the office here at 469-241-1467. We are dealing with a top attorney out of the state of Texas. Something that I find special is that you haven't really lost that feel that you had when you were that student and you were licensed as a student trial lawyer, because you're really out there really trying to help those out there who need an attorney who is really going to stand up for them. And I want to say that's terrific. So do you feel you've reached some measure the area of where you want to be, and you're very happy at where you are now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So we're going to wrap it up. But again, Tom, listen, you and I have spoken. I feel terrific. I think you're a great attorney. We're going to do everything in our power here to make sure the rest of the world knows that. The law offices of Thomas H. Keene, PLLC, Plano, Texas, www.keenlawfirm.com. And the phone number to reach that law firm is 469-241-1467. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. I know that we'll be speaking again. And, Tom, it's been my pleasure. And, listen, all the best, and hopefully we'll have you on the show again soon.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Steve.
You're very, very welcome. Bye-bye.